And we welcome you to Lewis Downs in beautiful Gainesville, Florida for race day 15 in the inaugural season of Chris Lewis's Google Sheets based horse racing simulation dynasty fantasy league. Conditions are perfect and the crowd is settling in for what should be another exciting day of racing. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jimmy Rakes, your stride by stride guide for today's 8 race matinee schedule. But of course, before we head out to the track, let's get a preview of today's action with the pregame show and our host, Chris Lewis.
Thanks, Jimmy. Good intro.
Thank you,
Yeah, I
bud.
think, all right. I think before we move on to today's slate, yes, last time out we had the Lewis Downs Turf Championships. I was unable to show you the photographs of the four champions. Those have since been added to the Hall of Stakes winners page on the league pages, and here they are. She Rode Sassy, Christian Stable, Spothead of Kalen Stable. You'll notice the spot on the head. You got Pernicious of Macy Stable and Peterberg, which I've misspelled on the slideshow here. I've added an S.
Peterberg.
Which yeah, that might have been an autocorrect thing of your stable, Jimmy. None of these four horses had won a stakes race before. And as far as Christian and Kalen go, it was their stable's first ever stakes wins. So congrats to those four owners and these four horses. All right, pregame show today. I'm going to break down the races at the top of the standings. I do want to note I have these sectioned off into little groups, but I think there's still enough money left for big moves in the standings. For example, when I talk about the battle for first, I'm going to highlight two stables, but I don't think the other stables are out of it. There's especially a lot of money left in the Breeders' Cup meet. But all right, so first we'll talk about the battle for first. That is between Nate and Andrew. So these were the standings before the Turf Championships that we had just last time out on July 21st. Nate's lead was just under $500,000 on the Turf Championships day. Andrew had is a combination of a really good day and a really conservative day. There were 4 stakes races. Andrew did not enter any of those 4 races. He nonetheless got 2 wins, and that included one race where he had all of the top 4 finishers. Nate, on the other hand, had an uncharacteristic day for him, one of his worst days of the year, actually. And so that left the standings now, as of today, the margin is down to 325,000. Andrew made up over 100 grand in one day. And let's see, we got today's day 15. We got after this 16, 17, and then the Breeders' Cup meet. But Andrew did even though Andrew was very conservative with his entries, he took a chunk out of Nate's lead last time out. All right, the battle for third. This one is razor tight. This margin. This is between, for now, Jesse and Johnny. Before the Turf Championships, the margin was 21,100. Super close margin. Neither of them had a big day in the Turf Championships. Not much change really between them. And the margin, Jesse grew it by $150.00 to a still pretty razor thin margin of $21,250. I was able to catch up with Johnny, who wasn't able to join us live, but I was able to catch up with him earlier. I asked him, Johnny, you're in a razor tight race with Jesse for third in the standings. Did you expect to compete toward the top of the standings in the first year like this? Jimmy, his response.
No, I didn't expect to, but the horses have showed a lot of speed and heart, and I'm just so proud of how they have done, and that includes Runt.
Yes, and so as a reminder, in the very first draft in the history of HRFL, Johnny had the honors of nominating the first horse to be drafted. He nominated Runt and then was able to complete the purchase. So he owned Runt at first, got a win with Runt, and then got a second win with Runt, who was then claimed by Brett, and then went on to win the Kentucky Oaks for Brett. So Runt, though, still holds a special place in Johnny's heart. Helped get her career off the ground. Then I followed up and asked, we probably should have interviewed you earlier in the season. You got off to an absolutely blistering start, and we're actually in first place through day 4. You've lost some momentum since. Can you recapture some of that magic to close out the season?
Absolutely. The magic is always there as long as I have my horses.
We want to thank Johnny for his time and wish him best of luck the rest of the way. All right. Last part of the standings that will have a special highlight for this afternoon is the battle for 5th through 7th, which is pretty close. And you'll recall that the top 6 take home some amount of money on the season. So this was before the Turf Championship day. We had Christian in 5th, Casey 6th, Jimmy 7th. And you can see very close margins, 22,100 between 5th and 6th, just under 30,000 separating Casey and Jimmy for the last spot that makes money. On Turf Championship day, Jimmy and Christian, as we just showed on one of the opening slides, won a Turf Championship, which is a stakes race, a big prize. So they had good days. Christian actually even had a second win. Casey, less eventful, less successful Turf Championship day. So the standings after day 14, you see big jumps for Jimmy and Christian. Jimmy was, let's see, about 51,000 short of Christian before the Turf Championships. He's now within less than 20,000 for 5th place, and the gap between 6th and 7th has grown to 142,000 about. Of course, Casey can make that up, but a fun little race for 5th, 6th, and 7th there. All right. One of the last things here before we head to the track, Jimmy, is we have an A grade debut today, and it's the 2-year-old Kalen's horse, Luck of the Irish, will be in race number 9. That should kick off rivalry with a potential lifelong rival, Sounds of the Void of Brett's stable. Brett entered Sounds of the Void 2 weeks ago, and he got the win. So he's undefeated early in his career, but it's Luck of the Irish's debut. With Luck of the Irish's debut, we'll have now had 5 A grade horses compete in the history of the league, with the 3 older ones. All right, Jimmy, everyone's favorite, the Dark Horse Detective. What do you got?
All right. Just want to highlight Andrew's comment there. I agree. Lifelong rival would be a good horse name.
Indeed, and welcome in.
On to my dark horse today. We're going to go to race 8, the second to last race of the day, and maybe a little biased, but I've got 4 horses in this race. I'm going to go with one of them. I'm going to go with Renegade Chop, somewhat named for my alma mater, Florida State.
Sure.
And very strong on the turf compared to the dirt. Looking for win number 3, I believe, there on the season. And did win last time out on day 10. And had a nice long rest. And so Renegade Chop, the number 12 horse in the 8th race of today, my dark horse.
All right, Jimmy, and if I recall, was it Renegade Chop to show?
Yes, pardon me. Yes, Renegade Chop to show. I've got we have 6 D grade horses in there. Renegade Chop, one of the E grade. So trying to going for the show, because I try to get something in here for the dark horse.
Yeah, for sure. And there are some real good D grade horses. You got Runt, who we've talked about in the 3-win club, and Fever Pitch, Zach's horse, who seems to always find himself in the top 3. All right, good. I'll be watching that.
Indeed.
Okay, so here's the standing zoomed out as they stand right now. Nate and Andrew first and second. And you can see on down through Macy, who got a stakes win last time out. All right, Jimmy, about ready. I think race 1 was canceled today for not having any entries, but we'll start with race 2.
Yes, we will. All right. Let's get ready to head out to the track. We've got our first race of the day. The minimum 6 horses there. So when everybody gets money race to start the day, three free agents, and then a horse of my own, the only I horse there, both Spick and Span. Second race for the 2-year-old. Race last week to a 5th place finish. And going up against, we got Gefilte Fish, Johnny Stable, and Pizza Slice from Christian's Stable. Gefilte Fish, the only former winner, winning all the way back on day 1 in the rain.
Oh, wow.
Big 20 horse race that Gefilte Fish won there.
How about that? All right, yeah, and 2 debuts, Elected to Defer and Trots.
Indeed. Elected to Defer in that number 1 slot, and looks like we're ready to go here on the turf to start us out on race day 15, and they're off. Pizza Slice out to an early lead over Gefilte Fish, Nuclear Spritz, Trots, Elected to Defer, and both Spick and Span the trailer. Pizza Slice maintaining that lead, Elected to Defer not far behind, and takes the lead over as we approach the halfway point. Nuclear Spritz and Trots not far behind. Gefilte Fish and Pizza Slice trying to make it a race. Both Spick and Span still trailing big. It's now Gefilte Fish up into the lead. Elected to Defer, Pizza Slice, Nuclear Spritz, all making it a race. Both Spick and Span trying to make a comeback, but still trailing. It's Pizza Slice in the lead. It's very close as we come down the stretch. Elected to Defer now up into the lead. It's Elected to Defer trying to pull away. Trot's making a late charge. Both Spick and Span also making a late charge, but it's Elected to Defer with the win. Both Spick and Span coming back from trailing all the way up to the place. Trots with the show. Nuclear Spritz in 4th, followed by Pizza Slice and Gefilte Fish the trailer. Congrats to the free agent Elected to Defer. First race, first victory.
Yeah, congrats, Elected to Defer. Lifetime undefeated. And hey, both Spick and Span is the surefire long shot. Finishing second's not bad either, Jimmy.
For sure. 2 races, 2 top 5ers for both Spick and Span.
There you go.
And let's head down to race number 3, second race of the day. And we've got a full slate of free agent horses here in the first claiming race of the day. As Chris mentioned last week, we're going to have a good slate of claiming races here next few race days. This first one, just $12,500 will get you one of these 20 free agent 2-year-olds. And just mostly 2-year-olds. We've got
That's right.
4 was that 3? Yeah, 3 horses who have raced before: Crescendo, Face the Facts, and Bite Size. So 17 2-year-olds here on the turf, short 8 furlong race.
Yeah, and a good handful, Jimmy. I think 8 F grade horses. So they would be your favorites.
Indeed.
And they're all making their debut, the F grade ones.
Nice. All right. We'll see if we can get all the names in here. 20 horses, a bunch of newbies with some great names, of course, back out on the turf. And they're off. Iambic Pentameter out early with the lead, followed by Presence, Radiant Splendor, Face the Facts, a little Stitious up into 4th. Presence taking the lead now. And it's Runs with Hooves now up into 4th. Sincerest Form now into 3rd. Iambic Pentameter, though, staying with Presence as we pass the halfway point. Runs with Hooves now up into 3rd. Sincerest Form at 4th. A little Stitious in the top 5, now moving up into 2nd, but it's Presence and a little Stitious now taking the lead. Sincerest Form not far behind, and he takes the lead. Sincere's Form now trying to pull away. Presence in second. Green with Envy now up into second. And we've got a very close one as we come down the stretch. Green with Envy takes the lead. Now it's Run with Hooves. And it's a photo finish at the end. And Paid Actor comes back from who knows where to win it. Presence with the place, Iambic Pentameter with the show, followed by That's How They Get You, Runs with Hooves, A Little Stitious, Sincerest Form, Jacuzzi Snowfall, Fighting Orange, Green with Envy, Radiant Splendor, The Professor, Lightning Section, Crescendo, Conspire, Face the Facts, Windy City, Inventory Stickler, Goes Without Saying, and Bite Size, the trailer. Congrats again, Paid Actor. All right, Chris, did we have any of these 20 horses getting claimed?
We did. Let's run through it. I'll just mention I'm disappointed in the image hosting service, but here we go. All right. First off, A Little Stitious. There were 2 claims on A Little Stitious. Johnny won the claim. The horse Goes Without Saying was claimed by Zach. Crescendo, 7-year-old horse, was claimed by Johnny. Inventory Stickler was claimed by Zach. And the 5th horse, there were 2 claims on Bite Size, and Johnny won that claim. So 5 of these horses were claimed, Jimmy, a quarter of the field.
Okay. So you said 3, you said Inventory Stickler, Goes Without Saying, and Bite Size all claimed?
Yes. Yeah. How about that? The
last 3 horses. Yeah.
The 3 last place horses did.
Maybe they just need an owner. We'll see.
Yeah, they're going to have a different level of training now. The future's bright for them.
Indeed. Indeed. All right, let's head to race number 4 over on the dirt track. 9 furlongs. And we've got some G's, OGs, if you will.
Oh, very good.
9 G horses. Our leader, Nate, entering 3 horses in this race. Grace's pick with her debut as a 2-year-old. And I've got a 2-year-old as well, Citronaut, who raced last week. And yeah, we'll see. And not really a favorite here, as I said, all G grade horses.
I do think we have to, though. We have to mention Arbitrary Lions, one of the very few horses in the 3-win club. Indeed. And has a 2nd place finish. So, yeah, indeed. On paper, grade G, but Arbitrary Lions can put some races together.
Yeah, very nice record, as you said. 7th place finish on day 1, but followed that with a win on day 3, 5, and 9, and then a 2nd place finish back on day 11. So 3 race days since then of rest, and yeah, very good pick for a favorite there.
All right, well, let's go see what happens.
All right, out to the dirt. As we said, 9 horses ready to rock, and they're off. My boy Citronaut out to an early lead, followed by Eola Zybar, Regular But Friday, Louse, Rigbone, Moral Hazard, Arbitrary Lines, Deliberate Speed. Grace's pick is the trailer, but Citronaut a half-length lead over the field. Eola Zybar trying to keep pace, but Citronaut building that lead as we pass the halfway point. Louse and Regular But Friday trying to keep up. Eola Zybar staying with Citronaut about a half-length back. Citronaut trying to go wire to wire. Louse now up into 3rd, but it's Eola Zybar trying to stick with Citronaut. A strong 2nd, a half-length over the field. Moral Hazard up in the 3rd, making a strong charge, but it's Citronaut going wire to wire. A huge victory by Citronaut. Eola Zybar and Moral Hazard. Louse now charging, and Louse passing a couple horses there right at the end to get 2nd. Moral Hazard with the show, followed by Rigbone, Grace's pick, Arbitrary Lines, all Nate's horses there in 4th, 5th, and 6th. Eola Zybar in 7th, Deliberate Speed in 8th, and Regular But Friday in 9th. Congrats to me and Citronaut.
Yeah, congrats, Jimmy. Citronaut with a convincing win. I just want to highlight what a heartbreak race for Charlie, who was running in 2nd most of the race.
Yes.
And then even here still, and just had to close it out. But then passed by 5 horses right at the end. to fall out of the money completely into seventh.
As would
Um,
happen at Iola's actual iBar. You know, you get towards the end of the night and you just can't finish, you know.
yeah. Good close by Laos.
Indeed. Jumping up into second. Right, a photo finish there. And as we said, Nate getting fourth, fifth, and sixth. So all three horses in the money, just not the
Sure.
big money there.
Yeah. Then not big chunks. Certainly not.
Indeed.
All right.
Um,
Let's. Where we got Jimmy? Race 6, 5.
race 5. Yeah, race number 5.
Oh yeah, I wanted to preview this one.
No
So it's
worries.
a distance turf race, grades F and G, and there was something I noticed. Brett's got 3 horses going. He'll load up races like that. We've got another owner who doesn't normally load up so many horses into one race, and it's Zach. He's got 3 in this one. Campfire Songs, who has a win, No Diggity making a debut, and Prickly Pete. I looked some more just out of curiosity, and these mid-level horses, these F and G, E, F and G grade horses that like distance and turf, Zach's loaded with them. He's got
Ooh,
there's more horses that were eligible for this race that he went ahead and sat out, but he has a type, I think. So
nice.
anyway, Zach's got 3 of the 11 horses in this race, and it's a race distance and surface that sort of speaks to Zach's stable. Maybe this is a race to watch Zach in.
Nice. As you said, Brett's got 3, all good on the turf as well. And yeah, both Nate's horses good on the turf. And we'll see. Let's Play 2. All of Brett's horses, all 3 of them actually racing last race day. Let's Play 2 finishing last. Nowadays coming off a victory in race number 4. And Prospectus with a place. Also,
And they're going to be the 8 starts for all 3 of Brett's horses, which I think is the most
indeed,
in the league.
yes, yeah, high
He's
fatigue
he's
with those 3
okay.
as well.
All right, Brett's having them run.
It's getting
All
them
right.
out there onto the turf, as we said, 11.5 furlongs. And they're off. Gunslinger, Formulaic, Let's Play 2 out early. Nowadays in Prospectus, not far behind. Magical Crinkle-Ear there in cahoots. Campfire Songs, Prickly Pete, Forget About It. And No Diggity, the trailer. Gunslinger back into the lead. Prospectus down into third. Magical Crinkle-Ear not close there. Formulaic now taking lead. Lots of different leaders here as we pass the halfway point. Coming around the turn. Magical Crinkle-Ear now in the lead. They're in cahoots, not far behind, trying to pull away from the field. Magical Crinkle-Ear now with a half-length lead, stretching it to a full length. Forget About It, trying to catch him. It's Nate's 2 horses up in the first and second. Formulaic, Campfire Songs, charging late. Gunslinger also charging late. But Nate with the 1-2 sweep. Magical Crinkle-Ear with the victory. Forget About It to place. Gunslinger to show, followed by there in cahoots. Formulaic, No Diggity, Let's Play 2, Campfire Songs, Prickly Pete, Nowadays, and Prospectus. Congrats to Nate.
He's
1-2.
back. He's back.
He is.
Yeah. Rough day by his standards last time out, but a 1-2 finish here. Yeah, he's back. Getting wins is chunks of money, and he got second also. Nate said,
Indeed.
"Make Nate's stable great again."
Nice. Yeah,
It's
Magical Crinkle-Ear, 6th race, second victory. Forget About It, first race, and a second place in their first his first race.
good deal. Congrats to Nate. All right, we got a few more on the slate, Jimmy.
All right, let's go to race 6, our second claiming race of the day. And this one, you're going to need 42,500 to grab one of these horses. We've got some E's, some F's, and a G. Brett also loading up this race. He's got 3 horses in there. I've got 2 of my own, Liberty and Charmer, and all veterans here. No 2-year-olds, but short one on the dirt, 7.5 furlongs.
Yeah, and Ego Dynasty, a multi-time winner.
Indeed, including last race day, race number
Okay.
7, winning there, and then also taking home the win on race day 10.
All right.
All right, let's head out to the dirt. No mud today as conditions are perfect here in Gainesville, and they're off. iGoat Dynasty and Red Scamper out early for Brett. Liberty now up into second. Gadsden tied now there too. iGoat Dynasty trying to pull away though. Liberty trying to keep pace. Red Scamper, Factoid, Gadsden tied right there. Television Static now trying to make a charge. Charmer is the trailer though. Liberty now in the lead as we pass the halfway point. iGoat Dynasty right there trying to pull away. Liberty and iGoat Dynasty. First and second, iGoat Dynasty taking the lead. Factoid charging late. We've got a 3-horse race as we come down the stretch. Charmer and Red Scamper trying to get in it, but right now it's iGoat Dynasty. Charmer making a late charge. Factoid's in second. Charmer and Liberty third, fourth. Charmer now up in the second, but it's going to be iGoat Dynasty with the victory for Brett. Charmer charging up into second, gets the place. Red Scamper in third, so that's Brett with 1 and 3. Liberty in fourth, so I got second and fourth. Television Static in fifth, followed by Factoid and Gadsden tied the trailer. Congrats to Brett.
Yeah, and Ego Dynasty joining the 3-win club, which is at this point still pretty exclusive. Congrats to Brett. And as you noted, Jimmy, despite quite a bit of fatigue, right?
Indeed. Yes. Big fatigue there. iGoat Dynasty. Gadsden tied a little more fatigue, so there's the trailer. But yeah, nicely done. Brett's 9th victory of the season.
Congrats to Brett.
And do we have any claims there?
Oh, Jimmy, you know what? There were not. No claims in that one.
All right. Well, maybe a little too pricey. Maybe not.
Perhaps. I think we got one more claims race right here. Yeah, these are $70,000 horses.
Yes. Back out on the dirt a little bit longer, 10 furlongs here. And Brett's got 2 horses in this one, Zach, as well. And yeah, mostly ease. We've got Street Credibility as an F, making their debut for Walton Charlie, and then Mount Timpanogos G grade also in the race.
Only one former winner in this one, Jimmy, and it's Business Savvy.
Indeed. Let's see. Let me check which race that was actually.
Sure.
Let's see. Business Savvy winning on day 6, actually. 10 horse race there. And but finishing last week. So looking for a little redemption.
All right.
Chips and Medallion and Business Savvy both heavily fatigued after racing last race day and 2 race days before that as well. So all right, back out to the dirt here at Lewis Downs. Looks like we're set. And they're off. Chips and Medallions, Susanna, Street Credibility, Business Savvy, the Nuclear Option, Mount Timpanogos, and Ampersand rounding out the field. Chips and Medallions holding a slight lead. Business Savvy now taking over as we come down the backstretch. Mount Timpanogos now overtaking and trying to build that lead. Ampersand comes from the trailer up to second. Susanna now passing Ampersand in the second, but it's Mount Timpanogos maintaining a lead. Susanna and Ampersand making it a 3-horse race. Business Savvy, Street Credibility trying to make it more, but it's Ampersand building a lead after starting behind. Building a lead over Street Credibility now in a second. Susanna in third, but Ampersand trying to hold off the field after the slow start. Ampersand with the strong finish and the win. Another win for Nate, second on the day. Susanna with the place. Chips and Medallion to show, followed by Street Credibility, the Nuclear Option, Mount Timpanogos, and Business Savvy. Nate making race day 15, making Nate's stable great again.
Yeah, congrats to Nate. Second win of the day.
Nicely done, Ampersand. Didn't mention this, but coming off a last place finish in day 12, and wasn't looking good there at the beginning. Definitely a trailer, but very strong finish there for Ampersand.
Yes.
And
all right,
any of them getting claimed?
Oh, no, none of those were claimed either, Jimmy.
All right.
Just the 5 horses in that first claiming race for today.
All right, sounds good. We've got 2 more races remaining today. Got a nice big 14 race field here in race number 10. I myself trying to load up here with 4 horses, including my dark horse pick, a Renegade Chop in the 12 spot. And good amount of former champions here. Runt, of course, 3-time champion, winning on day 1, 5, and maybe I'm not sure. 1, 3, and 5.
1, 3, and 5, and
for
the
Runt.
Kentucky Oaks was day 5.
Indeed. And yeah, a couple horses coming off a race last race day as well. So Runt also largest fatigue factor here in today's race.
All right, let's do it.
All right, out to the track. Up in Smoke, our only debut here. And they're off on the turf here at Lewis Downs. Wind-up delivery, shooting out of this, out to a strong lead. Up in Smoke, catching up fast though, and now taking a big lead. Wind-up delivery, Fever Pitch on the circuit, no comment. Runt, Jeff, Renegade Chop, Taticulator, all trying to make it a race. Try again up there too, but it's Up in Smoke maintaining a lead down the back stretch and into the turn, building an unbelievable lead for Up in Smoke. He's making the rest of the field go Up in Smoke. Fever Pitch trying to make a race of it, but it's going to be Up in Smoke with a huge victory. And we've got a fight for second. Up in Smoke, wind-up delivery, try again, but it looks like it's going to be Fever Pitch overtaking them all. Try again. No, pardon me. Right at the end there, try again with the place. Fever Pitch to show, followed by Renegade Chop, no comment. Wind-up delivery, Bill of Rights, Taticulator, NJ Naysayer on the circuit, Runt, Mastermind, Inclement Weather, and Jeff the Trailer. Congrats to Up in Smoke. That's right, win number 3 on the day for Nate Stable. Just give him the championship now, Chris. I don't know what to say here. The whole league's Up in Smoke now.
Yeah.
What a debut.
Yeah, congrats to Nate. 3rd win of the day. Before we give him the trophy, there's still quite a bit of money left, but yeah, Up in Smoke.
Indeed.
you pretty much you can't win by more than that. What a dominant debut and performance. And Nate Stable has had success with D-grade horses before. You can start and end the conversation with Lemke. The all-time winningest horse is a D-grade horse from Nate Stable. And Macamaroni and Cheese is also a D-grade stakes winner from Nate Stable. So huge debut by Up in Smoke.
Indeed.
And congrats to Nate.
That was a short race too. That was only 8 furlongs. He might have had a 2 furlong lead there at the end. That was unbelievable. All right, let's head to the final race. And Nate's got a horse in this one too. Actually, he's won the most money of any of the horses entered. Macamaroni and Cheese there in the 7th spot on the dirt. Another short one, 8 furlongs, $95,000 purse, and a good mix of horses here.
Yeah, the big story is it's the debut of A-grade Luck of the Irish, and
Indeed.
he'll be facing off against Sounds of the Void, the other A-grade 2-year-old. So that's certainly something to watch. Good size field though.
Yes, a few C-grade horses. What the Fluff also making their debut.
Jimmy, I miss you saying the penultimate race. I feel like that's your
trait. Yeah.
I think you need to make that your thing.
I love that. That's one of my favorite words of all time.
You'll have to catch it next time.
I'm proud that you caught that I didn't say that. Yes. No, I'll definitely make it that's always in there. I think I said it maybe in the pregame referring to something. Yeah, I'll make sure to do that from now on. As we go to our final race back out on the dirt. 14 horses ready to rock to wrap up the day.
And you know what? I just realized we missed it. Your dark horse, Renegade Chop, Jimmy, finished 4th.
Oh, so
and you
close.
Had the dark horse was to show, so top 3, super close.
All right. Well, you got in the money at least, but yeah, that might have been my closest prediction so far.
Yeah, it was close. All right,
Getting
ready to go?
there. Let's do it. All right, last race, and they're off. What the fluff, debuting in the lead. It's tough to say that without laughing. We've got, as stated now, overtaking him. Oh, this old thing in second, Executrix, the name I have the most trouble pronouncing now, in the lead as we hit the halfway point. Luck of the Irish in the debut, in the lead. Almost a full-length lead over the field. What the fluff right behind her. Executrix right there, right behind him, I should say. Executrix now into second, but Luck of the Irish trying to blow away the field. Macamaroni and Cheese making a late charge. Executrix not far behind, but it's going to be Luck of the Irish by over a full length over the field. Luck of the Irish, one race, one victory. Congrats to Kalen, my boy, and his boy Elroy with the place. Sounds of the Void, one of the favorites in third, followed by Torrential Downpour, Executrix, only the second time I've said it right, Macamaroni and Cheese, Firepower, the Old Elm Tree, as stated, What the Fluff, Know My Song Well, Oh This Old Thing, Seismic Shift, and Osmosis Moses, the trailer. Congrats again to Kalen, Luck of the Irish, the A-grade horse, in his debut, getting the victory in the final race of the day.
Yeah, congrats to Kalen and a pretty dominant performance. Pretty sizable win.
Very much so. Over a horse length there, over the field.
Yes, sir. All right, let's update the standings.
All right, Executrix.
There you go.
Gonna get that from now on. All right, great day of racing though.
Yeah. All right, let's see
Nate,
here.
how many? Yeah, which is why you're saying that. Just throwing a question out there. How many owners have we had win 3 races in a day?
I've got those numbers here.
Okay, I'm pretty sure I did it one time.
Yeah, we've had Jimmy won 4 once.
That's right. Okay.
Andrew had a 3-win day. This is Nate's 3rd 3-win day.
Oh my God.
Brett has had 1. Johnny has had 2, and Macy has had 1.
Wow, pretty more common than you would think there.
Yeah, and before we move on, I'll mention Jimmy has at least 1 win in 6 days in a row.
Ooh.
So congrats, Jimmy. All right, I've updated the stables, which should update the standings. I don't think we can understate this. Hugely successful day for Nate. The lead is now up over 500,000, almost 550,000. If you watched in the pregame show, Andrew had made up $100,000 on the last race day. Nate just by more than 200,000 helped it in his direction. A little bit of separation.
Yeah, whatever he made up went up in smoke there.
Yeah, that's right. A little bit of separation between Jesse and Johnny. It wasn't because of any race performance on Jesse's part, though, as she sat the day out. But Johnny made 3 claims. And then Jimmy, your day was successful enough to have you pass Christian and even put a little space between the 2 of you.
Right. Up into the top 5 again.
Yeah. There you have it. Oh, I think I announced in the Slack, but the race schedules for the rest of the way have been posted. So the entries for day 16 are due Saturday at noon. And yeah, that was a fun one. Oh, I'm going to do something else before the entries are in on Saturday. I'm going to post stats on injuries and weather, because I don't want it to look like I'm foreshadowing anything. We've again had another day with no injuries. They should happen more often than they've been happening. And it's so crazy because the only injury we had was Hansel on day 1 in the 2nd race ever, which made it look like it was going to happen a lot. But now we've had, I think it was over 1,000 race starts, and it's still the only injury we've had. And then as far as weather's concerned, I'll update this now. It's supposed to happen just under 1 out of every 4 days. Are we supposed to have rain? and it's only happened just the twice so far. But I'm gonna post stats more so on injuries, about how many starts we've had to just the one injury and how much of how much less it's happened than expected.
Nice. And the
Long
season's
beat.
flying by here. We've only got 3 days left.
That's right.
Got Lewis Downs once again next race day. And then our penultimate race day will be at Saratoga before we finish out with the Breeders' Cup back here at Lewis Downs in Gainesville. And like Chris said, good chance that one of those will be in the slop. And we'll find out.
But yeah, maybe. Andrew, did you have something before we sign off?
Oh no, I just said that I'm on Nate's horses tested for PEDs.
You cut out. We couldn't make that out.
I said I'm on his horses tested for PEDs.
Okay. Yeah. We do regular testing on Nate's horses. We're gonna have to do some even more regular testing.
Bring it
Some,
on.
some irregularly frequent testing. What's that, Nate?
Bring it on. It's just clean living, friends. Clean.
All right, good stuff. Jimmy, sign us off.
All right. Sounds good, Chris. Thank you very much for another great day of racing. For Chris Lewis, I'm Jimmy Rakes. We will see you in 2 weeks right back here in Gainesville. Have a good one, everyone.